Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Movies Are Real for the month of May and June. Oh, you get double the podcast, same price, great value. That's what we're all about here on Movies Are Real. I'm here with Cary Lyles.
Hello.
Ryan Lance.
This is Ryan from the future. Don't record 2 months at the same time. It's a terrible mistake. You'll regret it.
That's crazy talk.
That's probably nothing.
That's probably nothing. Anyways, hello everyone. Yeah, we're recording May and June. One, because we realized there wasn't a lot of movies we saw in May, or that came out. And two, we're a little bit late, so it'd be kind of painful and weird to make you go through May, whatever the hell. So we're just squishing it together. Talking about the films of May and June. Yeah, I don't know. First off, it's the summer starting. I guess the biggest summer. Would it be weird to say that the biggest summer movie this year is Barbie?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I can't think of anything else.
There's nothing that's because when you think about this, because summer starts in May, and Guardians was pretty big.
That was a good kickoff movie.
Spider-Verse was pretty big, but a lot of their big stuff, I heard
Indiana Jones
is not going to do good. The Flash did do good.
They took it off.
Elemental. No one saw apparently.
Flash is already getting pulled. It got pulled after week 3.
Yeah. And I think there was, I don't know, it just feels like a lot of stuff is just tanking right now. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. My theory is a lot of stuff that's tanking is the stuff that's more kid. Because did Little Mermaid do well or did it?
I didn't hear bomb. It might have underperformed, but
because I just feel with Disney's kid focused stuff, I feel parents are probably and this is coming from someone who doesn't have a child. But going to see the movies by yourself is expensive, and imagine taking kids.
Yeah. And they want snacks and juice. They won't shut up about juice.
They won't stop. And then you gotta bring their friends, and you have to sit through Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken.
I'm gonna say that movie doesn't look terrible. That's what George is gonna say. I'd rather watch that than Elemental.
That's probably fair. But I just feel a lot of parents are probably listen, Johnny. In 1 month it'll be on Disney Plus for free, and we got plenty of Costco fruit snacks in the pantry. So let's just wait it out.
Worldwide is at 526 million, which is probably solid. It's probably not as much as they want because Little Mermaid is crown jewel Disney. It is Lion King. They probably wanted it at the
$1 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they probably wanted it at the 700 at least.
Yeah.
So it did enough. I think. Which I think all signs are pointing people being well, they were just being haters. I didn't did I talk about this in the last podcast about how, yeah, who knows, I don't remember that podcast, George. I watched The Little Mermaid, I was I like The Little Mermaid, and then I got 30 minutes in, I was this is boring. Okay, yeah, I was I'm not feeling this, So that's why I didn't watch the new one. I will say, Melissa McCarthy looks pretty cool in it. Mm-hmm. I saw some clips of her in it, and I was it's pretty good. Anyways, we're not here to talk about children's movies. We're here to talk about movies about books and ladies who gather to talk about books.
Hell yeah, baby.
Cary, Book Club, The Next Chapter. The sequel to a movie that probably made a lot of money. How far away did the first Book Club compared to Little Mermaid? A Book Club movie. Is the Book Club based on a book?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's just a movie. Okay.
It's based on a book in the way that they all talk about 50 Shades the entire time. So it's based on the experience of reading 50 Shades.
104 million against 14 million. So that's pretty damn good. That's better return on investment than Little Mermaid. That's for damn sure.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, Cary, I assume this is one of those movies you saw with your mom?
Mm-hmm. My mom wanted to see it for Mother's Day. And it was exactly what you think it would be. Because in the first one, it's this book club and they all get together and they read 50 Shades for the first time. It's the first time they read a scandalous book, and then the movie chronicles how them reading this book and enjoying it affects each of their lives. And then now we pick up and their book club has continued, however the coronavirus has happened. So now we get a few solid I'm old and figuring out how to use Zoom jokes at the beginning when they're trying to navigate the coronavirus with their book club. And one of them makes a solid joke about how they were reading The Woman in the Window, and she was if I wanted to hear about a lady who was going crazy, stuck inside her house, I'd just look in the mirror. It's like, damn. But anyway, the plot of this movie unfolds after the COVID restrictions have been lifted and they can get together again, and Jane Fonda is engaged to her boyfriend from the previous film who she started dating, and they want to have one last hurrah and go to Italy on a girls' trip.
Nice. That's how you make a sequel usually. If the Cheetah Girls taught me anything, for your sequel you should always go, on a trip with
Absolutely.
the girls. Yeah. Also, yeah,
because cheetahs, friends for life.
We should probably talk about the cast for this movie, because it's pretty stacked on veteran actresses on here. Dianne, Keaton, I can't find the list.
Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, and then the boys are Andy Garcia, Don Johnson, and
Don Johnson.
Nelson. Don Johnson is with Jane Fonda. They're very funny. Their dynamic is Jane Fonda's the I don't want to get married to anyone type, and he's from her past, and then they run into each other again. And
Don Johnson, fresh out of divorcing Jamie Lee Curtis in this one.
Right, exactly.
Did you have fun, Cary?
It was alright.
It was fine.
My mom said the first one was better.
Okay.
So if you're a diehard book club fan, maybe skip this one. And also, I was not familiar with the book they kept referencing in this one, which was... Hold on.
50 Shades Darker?
No more 50 Shades. It was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
The Alchemist.
That sounds like something I've seen the cover of.
Yeah, it's this cover right here. Apparently, it's a very famous book. I had never heard of it, but
is it like oh?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But they kept referencing it while they were on their trip and being like, just like in The Alchemist, we have to believe in fate. Just
How
like
old
the
are these ladies? Why do you make them sound
The book
90s?
explores universal themes such as following one's dreams, personal fulfillment, and the journey of self-discovery. That sounds like, yeah.
That's exactly what happens in the book club too, in the next chapter.
Alright, well. Anything else to say?
Very standard, very, very much... The ladies are having a good time, and that's what I care about.
What is the box office for this one? Let's see.
Oh, I don't know.
Box office, probably. Let's see. That's not very high. If that's the case, let me see. That is a significant drop off. If this is accurate, according to Wikipedia, the budget of $20 million, it grossed $27.9 million. That's not great.
Uh-oh.
The film received mixed reviews from critics and is grossed. Okay. Interesting. Why people didn't show up for it? Interesting.
Damn.
I wonder why. Well, sorry, ladies. Anyways. The Boogeyman!
Oh, no!
Ah! He's gonna get you. He got you, and he got movie fans all over the world.
Did he?
Yeah. Folks, I'm gonna ask you to ask you to tell the audience what you think of the Boogeyman and what you remember from the Boogeyman.
So first off,
not to be confused with Boogeyman from 2006.
No. This is Stephen King's Boogeyman, directed by Rob Savage, who directed Host.
Oh yeah.
And
crap-ass
dash cam, yeah. And it's a very basic kind of like Boogeyman-like story where, like, little girl's afraid of the monster in the closet, but, like, it's real, and it's like, oh, and they find the notebook full of weird drawings. It's a very, like, generic, like, kind of horror movie, which, I don't know. Cary, what do you remember about this movie?
I remember that the dad is a therapist.
He's a therapist, yes.
There is one gentleman who comes in, it's Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad. And he seems to be upset. And
yes, because his daughter was taken from the Boogeyman, and people like blamed him on it.
Yeah.
And he had seen it. He had like all the drawings of it, and he left it. And then the kids saw it and like, oh no, the curse is passed on to us.
Right. Yes.
And now we're being chased by the scary, scary man.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just your imagination. And then it's like, oh no.
And then the main girls. Their mom died in a car crash, so they're all really upset. Mm-hmm. And also, the bullies. I'm remembering right now how the bullies were insane. They were like, "What's up, loser? How's your dead mom?" What the fuck? They were just insane. They were Stephen King level bullies.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I think my favorite part about the bullies is like they're in the house with like the boogeyman at one point,
Right.
and the boogeyman tortures like the characters, but like leaves the preppy like asshole girls alone, which like is peak like, oh, they're gonna get what's coming to them, but then like, we're out of here, and then like they're out of there. They're just not in the movie anymore.
Well, if you remember, Ryan, we find out that the boogeyman feeds on trauma, so that's why he hangs out with this family with the dead mom. The preppy girl has no trauma.
Michael
that's why
Myers?
She's such
We
an
don't
asshole.
know that, Cary. I've been on Truth Social a lot lately, and it seems like rich people go through an awful lot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what they tell me at least. I wouldn't
in
know.
that case, just not at the same level of
Okay.
tasty trauma.
My other favorite thing about this movie that I was remembering about it was this movie had a lot of moments where like they thought the coast was clear, and like a character was like, "All right, guys, I think we're fine." Then you hear, and like and something would leap out. That happened like 80 times in this
It's
movie.
true.
It's so funny. So every time like someone would do it, it's like, "Oh, there's gonna be a monster still there." I bet.
Do we see the actual boogeyman in this movie?
It's one of those things where at the very end they get the light on and you kind of see him and it's like, oh, that looks fine.
In my head,
Like it makes sense why you only see a little bit of him because they didn't have the budget for that.
in my head, for some reason, I'm picturing that monster from that Hulu movie with the
Grim Cuddy.
Yeah, the Grim Cuddy. I don't know
Oh.
why I'm picturing the Grim.
Grim Cuddy. Classic movie.
Grim Cuddy.
No, Grim Cuddy definitely had more like distinguished features
Okay.
than the Boogeyman. He just seemed like a skinny little man.
We should have watched Grim Cuddy.
Yeah, we should have watched. Why are we watching the Grim Cuddy right now? But yeah, this movie's not very good.
Okay.
It's pretty like a generic kind of horror film
Yeah.
that's just doesn't do anything particularly interesting. Even based on like the generic boogeyman thing, like they even try to like paint it like one of the main characters, the older one, goes to visit like this other mom whose parents died from it, and she's like, "Yeah, my kids used to call it the boogeyman." I laughed at that back then too. Like they try to like paint, like be like, oh, it's because it's what kids call it. And it's like I get it, but you're not doing that very well on that, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
All right, Cary. Nothing else. Yeah.
I was hoping it would be a lot goofier.
It's a film.
It didn't feel that goofy, but we did get free posters and keychains
Yes.
upon exiting the theater.
I
So
have
you can never forget.
So in that case,
The keychain is
great
just an
film.
open door, which is very funny.
Yeah, I like the
Oh,
keychain.
that's pretty
and
good.
and the poster is above my cat's litter box,
Oh,
so
nice.
it's very good. Very
I
good
set those
placement.
things on my table inside my apartment when I got home from the movie, and
And
I
they're
have
still
not moved
there.
them.
Very good, very good.
All right. Well, that's the Boogeyman. Maybe one day we'll watch Boogeyman and see how they compare. I remember watching Boogeyman back in the day and thinking it was awful when I was a kid.
I remember seeing the DVD of Boogeyman at like
with
Blockbuster.
the hand on the door.
And I'd be like, oh my god, they made the movie.
Yeah, I know. So did I. As a
And I
kid.
never rented it because
I
I was
remember being very,
7.
very bored.
There's a couple copies of that Boogeyman at Ben's Game Zone.
Oh, there's always
I
DVDs.
I scroll over it a few times, because I'm always trolling around the $2 section. You know me.
Well, a movie that didn't cost $2 to make, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn's last Marvel film, and probably not Chris Pratt's final Marvel movie, from what I got out of
Judging
that.
by what it said, it seems like he's the only one staying.
Yeah, he might be the only one staying. Anyways, Cary, you're like no longer watching Marvel movies. Yeah.
I mean, I might watch. I think I'll watch this one once it's available
To watch easily?
Yeah, on like Disney Plus or something.
Okay.
But I'm thinking I don't care.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I mean, I don't care enough to go to a theater. to
Yeah.
watch it,
Fair enough.
basically.
But the Boogeyman, you're there.
Well, George,
Boogeyman, we were there.
please.
We were there for an
Please.
early screen of Boogeyman. That's how we got those
Yeah.
posters.
It's just the guys walking, the director coming out like, eh?
The guy at the poster table did say, take a poster if you like the movie, or if you didn't like the movie, who cares?
And that was Rob Savage.
I forgot about that.
That was very funny.
Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I walked into this one kind of like not knowing what to think because I was really looking forward to it, but Marvel fatigue is at an all-time high. I think everyone now. It's just
Yeah.
swipe. Like Secret Invasion's happening. Nobody gives a shit about Secret
No
Invasion.
shit.
Yeah.
The only
I
thing
don't
people
even know
talk.
what that is.
One of the big
It's
Disney.
basically like a Nick Fury show. So a Samuel L. Jackson-led spy thriller about... do you remember Captain Marvel, the Brie Larson one, where they had the aliens that could, like, shapeshift?
Yes.
It's based on this idea that, like, oh, they're all around us and we don't even know. Okay. And they're all and
There's also Spider-Man...
They were also in Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah.
No, Far From
Far From Home.
Similar names, very different
Yeah,
movies.
it's confusing. Yeah.
Very bad idea on their part to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just that whole, like, conspiracy. And I remember in the, like, the comics run, they had, like, towards the end, it's like, all these heroes that you loved have been Skrulls the whole time. And it's like, what? Okay. So they're going to do that for TV now. Yeah. And there's also very awful AI generated.
Yes. And it's got, what's her name? Great actress that Cary likes.
Oh, Emilia Clarke?
No.
Oh, okay.
The favorite?
Olivia Colman?
Oh,
Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman.
Don't ask me what she's doing there.
Okay.
But...
I watched 2 episodes of Secret Invasion. I have no idea what she's doing there besides giving weird monologues about government.
Anyways, a movie that is actually good, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Turns out it's great. It's fantastic. I liked it a lot. It's my favorite of the Guardians movies. I liked it a whole bunch. I saw it twice. I would watch it a third time. That James Gunn knows how to make a Marvel movie is my biggest thing. And he knows how to make
a good comic book movie.
He knows how to make a good comic book movie, but at the same time, he's like, okay, so like, we all know how to make one of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna do things a little bit different.
What I like about what he does is, and this is especially for most Marvel things, is each movie is just like this entire spanning like arc just condensed into 2 hours, which seems like a lot of time, but it's just a lot. But like all of his stuff is just like, oh, this is just a fun thing I thought I'd do with these characters, and that's like the same with like the Suicide Squad. That's like, oh, they're just on a mission and Starro Man's there. It's not like this is a secret invasion that people love in the comics.
Yeah.
And I just like appreciate that approach more than trying to. It's writing for the characters more than to get
100%.
To just market,
which is
like,
weird.
This thing.
Maybe that's how you make a movie.
Insane.
I don't fucking know. But
it's crazy how they're like, oh, this guy should probably be in charge of DC.
But
now.
like the biggest thing is like, he always swears he's taking a lot of right turns where most people would take a left. Where like you're assigned to make a Marvel movie. Okay, I know how to do this. Blah blah blah. Like we gotta go to this secret base with the MacGuffin so we can find out where this character is. And the place they go is like this 70s fucking Cronenbergian space fucking goopy thing.
Yeah, everything's made of flesh.
Everything's made out of flesh, but like in a really cool, clean 70s way. And I was like, great, you're in sci-fi. Do fucking weird shit, bro. Great.
Insane.
Instead of just like purple, green, blue, like spaceship thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is like Earth, but the flowers are weird.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how most of those movies are. So it looks out. That was actually a thing from Secret Invasion. A lady was like, "Here's a fruit from our home planet." And it's like a weird pear, and it's like, "Oh my god!" And then he eats it like kind of off screen.
It tastes like an apple. It's so fucked up.
Oh my
god. But also at the heart of this, this is a movie about Rocket, and it's great. It's so good. It is a lot, and I think a lot of people said, like, hey, this probably needed a content warning, because it is a lot of animals getting fucked up real bad.
Not like in like a... You don't like... I don't know. You don't like visually see it, but like the implications are like, oh, this is just
And
horrible.
they made these these animated little guys look really real.
Adorable.
Yeah, and adorable. In real, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's rough.
It's rough. But I think like the heartfelt story about Rocket... It 100% works. It's really nice. It's clear that they smushed 2 ideas for movies into one with the Adam Warlock stuff with Will Poulter.
Yeah. That was my main thing. Is like he just felt like an Adam Warlock's here, and maybe that was like a thing because like maybe Marvel really wanted we really want Adam Warlock. It's like okay, he's just gonna fly in this seat and disrupt.
I figured it would be a James Gunn thing because they had set him up in the second one.
They did, yeah.
But then that whole stuff happened with the Marvel being like, you're fired, and they're like, okay, and they're like, I'm coming back. This is it. Okay, so let's just squish both movies together.
That's fair.
Which I think, if it was like, I'm either gonna make an Adam Warlock movie or a Rocket movie, I think he made the right choice of being like, it's 80% Rocket.
Yes.
And Adam Warlock's kind of hanging out. But yeah, I think this movie is fun and good and heartwarming, and it's a good time. With
It really feels like, the end of like these characters, which is nice because it just makes it feel more like, because obviously this stuff is connected to the larger MCU stuff, but it feels so disconnected in its own place that like you're like, oh, this, I actually have like an attachment to like these specific characters and their kind of adventures. Like that's the whole like vibe it's going for, and I feel like it works here more than it would like in Ant-Man, Quantumania.
I think that's the direct comparison to this. Like we have another cosmic movie in this. Like compare the two. They are like one person like went to a completely different school than the other to how to make this dish or whatever the hell. Yeah. Also, Chris Pratt. He turned down his Chris Prattness. I thought
he did.
He's very mellow.
He's very mellow. It's mostly because he's like sad.
He's mostly because he's sad. Yeah.
But I think they did a lot of good stuff with his character, and he's pretty much, without like spoiling too much for Cary, he's pretty much the only one where they imply like is going to continue in the Marvel universe. And part of that is because like, at the very end of it, it's like the legendary Star-Lord will return, and it's like just him out of like the
weird.
10.
Last nice thing I'll say about this movie, and not that I'm gonna shit it afterwards, but the thing that works for me, and the thing I fucking hated about 2 was that it was a Chris Pratt Star-Lord movie, and once again we didn't have like the characters hanging out as a unit, like as a family.
Yeah,
and
they're very disconnected.
Yeah. And this one, it's not about him anymore. It's like, it's more about like them. Like we already know, like our relationship's already settled. Like we know each other. It's we don't have to go through like this moment where we're gonna break up and like, oh fuck you, go to hell.
It's useless.
It's useless. Yeah. So yeah, I like that a whole lot because I like these characters, and when these characters act like friends and a family, it works for me 100%. And that was also why the video game, I liked it a lot because it's like friends doing like, it's like very anime, like believe in the power of friendship shit.
And that's fun. And it's hard to do that with like a big cast of just like weirdos, including tree men and talking raccoon and a talking dog with a Russian accent. It's very fun.
Anyways, that's Guardians. Speaking of space age technology, what if a phone had a keyboard on it?
I can't imagine that at all.
That's crazy. Blackberry.
They
made a Blackberry movie, and by they I mean it's actually a very small production.
It's a very small production
by the people behind the Wii Shop Channel music bit. What the fuck is their name? Nirvana, the band, the show. You're not familiar with this at all?
I've heard of that.
Wii Shop Wednesdays, some guys singing a song. Anyways. Cary, did you see this?
No.
It was just me and Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is basically the inception and the eventual fall of the company Blackberry, who, if you don't know, they were pretty much the leaders of like the early smartphone era until Apple came in and just completely wrecked their company.
Shit. Yeah.
Pretty much overnight.
Overnight, yeah.
Which is insane. Which is like one fun thing about this movie is like, like the main character is like this like kind of like socially reserved, awkward guy who's like the main tech genius, and like his group of like wacky guys, and they get there, and they get in business with this kind of like old school, angry, screaming
old school
CEO
Wolf
type.
of Wall Street, kind of guy.
Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, who just goes full screaming.
Incredible!
It's amazing.
Incredible.
You've never seen a man destroy a phone booth and be like, yes.
I do like that guy.
He's
I haven't seen a ton of Always Sunny, but he always makes me laugh.
I like that show. He's very good at that show. And then it's like those two, working together. The rise of the industry and then the inevitable deep fall of it. Very classic kind of...
It's very much, yeah.
A very classic one of those types of, based on real life kind of things. And I think one thing, like, knowing the foresight of, like, what happened to this company, you start to feel bad for, like, the ageist little guys, like, just, like, try to do their best work. It's like, oh, I feel so horrible about what's about to happen to you. You guys just want to play...
And the thing that happens is capitalism, right?
It's just capitalism.
It's just exponential growth. It has to be bigger, it has to be better, it has to be blah, 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 blah. And they sold out, and then it just didn't work out for them in the end, and that sucks. And also the guy, the guy from Always Sunny he
he didn't want them to be bought out, so he was wheeling and dealing to make some illegal like stock deals to like get some like really high end people, which is very funny because like he goes to Nintendo and Naughty Dog and all these like video game places. And it's like, how much do you want? And he's like, what? How much do you want?
Right.
Yes. And then they do these illegal deals, and then what's funny is, you know, because it's all encrypted on Blackberry's like thing, like he apparently just got away with it, which is very funny. But yeah, very, very fun. I like this a lot.
It's very good.
It's a very
It's
a very movie, but like it's very, very good.
Yeah, and they do it very carefully, and they very again like these guys are mainly comedy people, as I understand, and so it very much feels like we're doing our first serious movie. We're gonna do it. You know, we're gonna be very attention to detail. We're gonna do it right, and it's great, and it helps that. Again, what's that name of that actor again from Always Sunny?
Glenn Howerton.
He is just like, you would think this guy has been doing this like character bit for like fucking ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, where has this guy been? Like
he's been in Philadelphia.
He's like J.K. Simmons Whiplash fucking.
Oh yeah, he's insane.
I'm from Waterloo, where the vampires hang out.
I forgot about
that is the line.
That is a great quote.
It's incredible. But yeah,
I would highly recommend.
It's wild that he doesn't do cocaine. It's insane that he doesn't do cocaine.
He doesn't need.
He's just always there.
Oh man,
it's also pretty short. It's like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, and it's like, whoa, this is a breeze. I love
it's
this.
also a nerdy. I mean, like the Blackberry. I guess it was a. It just feels so old now that it just feels so niche. Like it's and also like it just felt like. And maybe it feels nerdy because I remember the moment it all went down. Because everybody does. It ends with they put out the BlackBerry Storm, which was the phone that like fucked them.
Ruined the company.
And then when they said it was like, oh, okay, so here's where we go down, which was like they shoehorned a phone. The weirdest thing was like the BlackBerry guy, the genius guy, is very xenophobic towards China. Oh yeah, and he's all like, those motherfuckers don't know how to make a piece of technology. They suck, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And so the bit with the Storm, and who knows if this is true, was that they always manufactured all their stuff in Canada because they're a Canadian company, so they made it locally. And then because
they wanted to get out fast and cheap, they had to outsource stuff to China.
And so then the phone doesn't work, but it wasn't because it was. I don't think it was because it was from China. I think it's because they put it out fucking fast as shit, and it just the phone sucked ass and didn't work. Anyways, BlackBerry, pretty good. Check it out.
Good movie.
Check it out. That's all we had for May, by the way. Hard to believe it, but that's all May. June. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Was this really the first movie of June?
This was the first movie of June 5th.
Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
All right. Well, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I've seen this twice.
I want to see it a third time. I'm gonna wait for my 4K.
Yeah, same here.
This is the sequel to 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
I would describe that movie as like I don't know, how do you it's just like a fucking giant boulder hitting a pond of water, and it's just the ripples is going
yes.
And so that movie was very like changed the industry, where like you can do this.
This is an asteroid colliding with that same boulder.
Yeah.
Destroying everything again.
Yeah. So this is part 1 of 2 movies, which was
very much.
It was originally announced as a part 1, but then they erased it, and then I forgot almost until halfway through the movie, and I was like, this is a part 1, so I wonder how it's gonna end. And I was like, oh, it ends like a part 1.
There's a lot of stuff happening. How are they gonna resolve this in like 10 minutes? Oh, they're not. That's crazy.
I guess, Ryan, where do you start with this one? Well, Cary, you didn't see this.
I've tried to make Cary see it multiple times, but it just hasn't worked out yet.
Sorry.
Don't worry, it'll happen.
We can watch the 4K also together.
Good, yeah. I think with Into the Spider-Verse, that was very much playing off like, you know, like this idea of Spider-Man as a character, like what he means, and like trying to like, and just really celebrating that idea of that person.
Was this before Homecoming or after?
This was a year after Homecoming.
Okay, gotcha.
And just like the legacy of that character, like what he means for like people in like this world, and that kind of, you know, influences Miles, and then also doing some Spider-Verse stuff to just try to show.
I asked because like it was at a point where we all know the Peter Parker story.
Yes, we all know it. So now we're showing something new in like animated style. And then I feel like this movie is very much, you know, taking, you know, those established characters and just like seeing where they go from here, specifically like Miles and Gwen. Just because like Gwen always felt like a supporting character, but like in this one, she's very much like a co-lead with Miles, which I love, and I feel like all the biggest emotional beats that like really hit me involved her world and like what she was going through.
It was like the first 30 minutes.
It was like the first 20 minutes was just all her world and like one of like the. Here's my favorite part about it. That first action sequence where she's like in her world, which is all like kind of like watercolory and like very beautiful. She's fighting this like vulture who's very like Renaissance, like old school Leonardo da Vinci, like animated style.
I think I said Leonardo DiCaprio first.
Leonardo DiCaprio style, and like
he's the vulture's dating a young lady.
Whoa,
he's got an egg with him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just waiting.
But like I was listening to like another podcast talk about that fight scene. I was like, if this wasn't like a main Marvel MCU movie, it would be the greatest action scene of all time. Like that's how people would treat it. But because it's animated, no one's gonna like talk about it as much. Because it's like so like great, just like the style and like the movement of like her and like the way like her art style and his like clash, but also mix at the same time. It's so good. And then it just goes buck wild with it the more the movie goes, with showing like new styles.
That's the biggest thing. It's playing with styles more than the other one. Yeah.
Which is just insane. It's like no wonder like there 1,000 animators like were on this, and a lot of them were like,
fuck this.
a lot of them were like, fuck this. But I have read a lot of interviews like, I really love this, but also fuck this. So I don't know.
It's complicated.
It's
It's a very video gamey where it's like this. It's not like a normal movies like they're shot in real life. Like you have a hellish shoot, and like there are weird shit that can happen at a hellish shoot. Like you shoot at it, I don't know, in a country like where it's impossible to get to in terms of like it's in a remote location and the weather's terrible and there's like fucking wild mosquito infestation and people are getting...
You're away from your wife and kids for 4
and then
months.
The catering was fucked and then you're shitting and throwing up and then like that can happen, but with like animated and like video game stuff, it's like it's a bunch of people working creatively, staring in front of a computer and in rooms where like they're drawing shit and coming up with a bunch of creative people who like have strong opinions on how to make something, and at a certain point, stuff clashes, and you can 100% see how this movie is just like,
Yes.
Where the first movie, and I think it's so amazing why it's so good, is like I'm sure internally they're like, we're making something really fucking good here, right? But you don't know until it's out, and once it's out, you're like, we gotta follow that up.
Yes.
So that's probably where I was like, this has to be perfect. Yeah. I don't know.
I get that, and that's why. Do you think, because the next one's supposed to come out in March of next year, do you think it hits that?
A lot of the reports from that story, like a lot of people who they interviewed, they're like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
They made it sound like, I don't know, like it's, not that I don't trust the sources, but it's like, they made it sound like that movie's way behind, and I was like, if it was that behind that people said it was, like, I'm sure they would have said, like, a year out there already.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't say 2024. They would have said 2020. Like, people were saying, like,
they want to give it a solid date for it.
They're like, it's like 25% done.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's not a chance in hell. But whatever, maybe that's not done at all. Yeah, I don't know where to go. I think I saw the second time I enjoyed it a lot more.
Same.
I think, It doesn't have a, I guess the arc is believing in yourself and finally, like, I don't know, finding out who you are, but it's not as emotionally as satisfying of an arc as the first one, where the first one was very much Spider-Man, anybody can wear the mask.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da. It was very much like superheroes. Woo!
Yeah.
You can be Spider-Man. Ba-ba-da-ba. If you got bit by a radio, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But you could be Spider-Man. There's that Mary Jane speech when Spider-Man dies where she's all like, we're all Spider-Man, whatever the fucking hell, whatever that. And this one, like, the arc is a little weird.
It is, and that is a part of, like, it being, like, such a insanely large thing where, to the point where it's not even a finished thing.
No.
But, like, what I appreciate more the second time is, even though the movie doesn't really end, you know, I feel like for those new two main characters, like, their emotional arcs did have, like, a finish to it.
Gwen and Miles.
Gwen and Miles, yeah. Because
sure.
like Gwen was fine, like upfront, honest with her, had that final confrontation with her father, and Miles had like the courage to like tell his mom everything, even though things didn't end up working out the same for him. And that like made me like really appreciate it more. It's like, okay, it's not done, but at least like for these two, you can say that they have like reached like a new point at the end of this story.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. And for a lot of like part 2 movies, like I just remember like Harry Potter when we watched that one, because Harry Potter Part 1 ended with like, and I have the big laser sword, where? And then it just ended, and it's like, oh, okay, he has the big laser wand or whatever. That's
and I hope this Part 2, I hope it's not just a big action sequence, because Part 2 of Deathly Hallows is just a fucking huge-ass action scene. And I hope that's not the case. I mean, there's a lot of shit they got to resolve at the end of Part 1, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm very curious as to how you have enough, because like it has to also be like about as long as this one, and this one was a massive. It was really long. Movie. You don't really feel it though, just because like it's so.
I didn't feel it the first time I felt it a little bit. The second time I didn't.
It's just like ooh yay. But yeah, this is.
Mainly because I knew where it was gonna end. It's a lot easier when you know where it's gonna end. Oh yeah. Where it's like there's a lot of stuff that's unresolved, and how much are we going to resolve? Like I wasn't sure. Like, are we in the middle? Are we at the end of the movie?
I love how like both times I saw it at the end, like it was the exact same amount of people be like, "What the hell?" Like mad that the movie didn't end, which is very funny. That like, well, first off, I loved how like this animated picture that clearly had a lot of work in it is still like going very strong. And that people are still having those reactions very late. That's always very fun. So I don't know.
Jason Schwartzman, I think he's okay in this movie. That's what I'll say. And Daniel Kaluuya is incredible in it.
He is
now incredible. That I could hear him in the second time because the audio mix was fucked.
I've heard about that. Yeah. The audio mix is very weird for him. But yeah, I really liked the spot. I thought, a character with those kind of like powers is like really best for animation, just because you can actually like do it. And I feel like that kind of weird arc he went on, I feel like it was pretty believable for that guy, and funny and goofy, and also scary towards the end, which I like.
That shit looks if they fuck around with that stuff more, it's gonna look incredible.
The action just have to be that style. Yeah. It will be like
incredible.
Mamma mia!
Yeah,
I'm Italian, Spider-Man.
Speaking of Jason Schwartzman, Asteroid City, the next film by Wes Anderson.
I saw this one.
Yay! We all saw this one. I guess Jason Schwartzman and his family are going over to Tom Hanks' house, and their car fucks up, and then they're stuck in this little city, and then an alien comes to visit them, and but it's also not real.
No,
it's a play.
Anyway. But it really looks like a real thing.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Anyways, Cary, where do we start with this one? What'd you think? Also,
I really liked this movie a lot. I think I like it more than French Dispatch, but I need to rewatch French Dispatch. But
it has weak points.
That's the thing. Also, though, I haven't felt compelled to rewatch French Dispatch, whereas
I would rewatch this.
I want to rewatch Asteroid City immediately, but I really like this movie, and I love stuff that's about putting on productions. We know this, but and I like stuff when it's play within the movie, and I just thought it was really interesting. I thought all the humor landed really well for me, and it looks lovely, as you would come to expect from a Wes Anderson movie. And I thought a lot of the emotional stuff hit a lot stronger than any of his stuff for me has in a while, because like my favorite of his is Life Aquatic, and that has moments in it that are just like insanely powerful. And this one has some really good stuff in it too, mainly with Tom Hanks and the granddaughters. I just really liked all of that stuff, and the scene with Margot Robbie, which was
really good.
Favorite part of the movie. But yeah, I think it's a really good movie. I recommend it.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned in the podcast when I saw the French Dispatch, and I've only seen the French Dispatch, this, and the Grand Budapest from Wes Anderson. Or I guess what was it called? No, The Secret Life of Pets. Isle of Dogs. Which Isle of Dogs and Grand Budapest and French Dispatch are all 4x3, and that's the one where I finally got the style. I was like, oh, you can fill the screen with like so much stuff, and like you can stage things so beautifully in that square. And this one It's mostly wide. We go to 4:3 and black and white when we're talking about the playwright and all that stuff. And it's like, god damn, this movie looks so goddamn good. And the way he's this guy whose whole bit is very meticulously composing scenes can really compose a scene very well. Yeah. The colors are so warm and easy on the eyes, and it just looks great to look at. And I really like Jason Schwartzman in this movie, and with Scarlett Johansson and the kids. It's really Jason Schwartzman and Scarlett Johansson are the lead characters, I guess, kind of, along with Jason
Schwartzman's son.
Yeah, exactly.
Science.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's a weird movie about grief, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. But yeah, I like it. It doesn't drag. Which Grand Budapest really drags it for me at points. Like, it starts off really strong and towards the middle I'm like, and then I go back up. But yeah, I think this movie is super pleasant. I don't know if I would recommend it to, because again, like the big thing of the movie is like, what is it? Wait, what's this about?
Right.
Like, what is this about? It's like, it doesn't matter. Just yeah. Which is a movie. I mean, it is a movie about grief, but at the same point, there's also an alien, and there's also this whole stuff, and it's like, what was this all about? And especially the point that it's like, thinking that the movie that we're watching, Asteroid City, that's supposed to be a play of itself, and so that's the biggest thing. It's like, if I watch this, I'd be like, what? Without the context of the part where like the production of it. So I guess like that is, for some people, that's probably gonna be unsatisfying. It's like, it's a movie about nothing. Ryan, what you think?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I like the look of this. I like how his style contrasts with like the vastness of the desert. I think that's a very good look. But I also felt like, this is just a play. Really, nothing matters except for like this tiny little thing of the main character doesn't understand. He's having trouble like understanding like where he's going with the final act, basically, and that stuff I cared about the least when it kind of like cut to like, you know, him talking to like the playwright and being like, it's like, oh, let's kiss, and like, I don't know, that just didn't hit with me. I was just like, this would be just as good in parts for, I felt, if this was just, if you took out the play thing. Like, there's funny bits they do with that, and I think the resolution with that character is still good. And I like the resolution that character had in his role, but I just felt like that was like one layer too much for me to be like, oh, I really like this. It's just like, okay, I really appreciate this, and this is a lot of, you know, work and very pretty and calming, but like, I don't know, man. You can dial it back a little bit. You don't need to always be like this. You don't need to always be like this.
You like the more of the French Dispatch, though.
Yes, I did not like the French Dispatch. I didn't care for any of the stories in the French Dispatch. Like, not a single one of them I cared about. But on this one, even though it was all play stuff, so it wasn't like really, you know, genuine and real, they were all the characters had like fun interactions and played off each other very well. In believable ways.
I love the soundtrack too. A lot. It's very good. I like Dr. Hickenlooper a lot.
What about Dr. Hickenlooper?
What about Dr. Hickenlooper? I like the alien. He's great, of course.
That was incredible.
Yeah, I think this is a fine. Like I said with the French Dispatch, this is a movie I could watch at the start of my day and then just go on with my day. Like, that was great. I'm good. I can now go enjoy it. Lovely, fantastic. I'm gonna go for a run now. I don't know. Like, it's it goes down smooth for me. Yeah, I like Asteroid City a lot. I think I should watch more of this movie. This guy's movies.
This guy Wes Anderson.
He's a weirdo. Yeah. Like, I saw a clip on Twitter back when it worked of Grand Budapest, and I don't remember at all. It was the one where like they're reading the will, and Jason Schwartzman comes up, and then he punches Ralph Fiennes, and then William Dafoe punches them, and then he stares at the camera like this, and I forgot all that stuff. But yeah. Anyways, Asteroid City, pretty good. Not disappointing, which we like. Here's another weird thing, and you can feel free to like tell me that's a really weird opinion. But I thought it was really interesting. Like, there's a scene where Scarlett Johansson is naked in this movie, but it's the most like the way it's shot. It's the most like Scarlett Johansson is just a person. Like, I think when you see a celebrity in a movie, they're made up to be like a celebrity. Like, this person is like immaculate or perfect or whatever.
Wowza.
Sure. Where it's like Scarlett Johansson's character in this whole thing where she's not doing great. And when they're sort of rehearsing the scene with Jason Schwartzman, and she takes off her towel and stuff, like just like the way she just looked like this is just a person. I don't know. This is just a human being. Anyways, that's just a note there.
What a weird opinion. What the hell?
Anyways, speaking of just a normal person, Jennifer Lawrence, am I right? She's so crazy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who saw No Hard Feelings?
I do not.
I'm not interested.
I am
All
not.
right,
I'm
folks.
I'm not a fan of Jennifer Lawrence's like movies and her like.
You don't like Silver Linings Playbook, the most Ryan movie I've ever seen in my life?
I've never seen.
You
that
should watch
movie.
that movie. Really?
Yeah.
No.
All
It's
right.
about football.
Oh,
That's true. That is true.
That's the immediate like no.
Yeah, I don't dislike Jennifer Lawrence. I like Jennifer Lawrence a lot, but I don't like this kind of movie very much.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, not to be
Not to be a normal movie hater.
yeah, not to be too
But
on
but
brand.
for like the first, would this be the first normal movie of the summer?
No, we got Book Club. That's a normal movie.
Oh.
Okay, then how was your first normal movie of the summer?
I guess
George?
that's true. I think this is exactly what it advertises, and it's good. I don't know. If this is what you were looking for, you looked at the box and you're like, you picked it up at a Blockbuster, and I was like, okay. And you were like, and you would end the night be like, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I don't think Jennifer Lawrence ever. Also, context, this is an R-rated sort of raunchy comedy. I don't think it's that raunchy, honestly. There's a amazing scene. I could just spoil it, right? And it's probably gonna get talked about on Twitter where Jennifer Lawrence like fights up some fucking youths completely naked.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My
And she did her
friend was telling
she did
me
her own
about that
stunts.
scene,
And she did
yeah.
her own stunts. She was just punching and kicking.
Oh.
And it's really good.
How was this scene in contrast with the naked Scarlett Johansson scene? How was
in
she
terms of like the
presented?
realness of her.
It
She
just
seemed like a real person.
Nah, I think this one felt a little more like she's still Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. But where was I? Oh yeah, so this is it's a weird setup again. It was like, Jennifer Lawrence is like a fuck up, and she's a mess of life, and then she's like, I need a car, and Matthew Broderick is all like, our kid is a fucking dork. He won't go outside, he won't talk to anybody, and he just plays video games and jerks off all the time. Can you please go out with him and maybe before he goes out to college? And we'll give you a car, which is the most contrived movie fucking Judd Apatow's set up for a film ever, which is, yeah. And then stuff happens. Turns out, they like each other a lot, and then happily ever after. And by that, I mean they just hang out, and it's like, that was weird, right? Spoilers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. It's better than Mother, which is my letterbox review.
Hey, you know
It's
what?
a low bar, I
I
understand.
would rather watch that than Mother.
But yeah, there's nothing in it that made me like, I wouldn't have done that. I thought there was nothing that like made me cringe.
Would you call it the return of the raunchy comedy? That's how this has been presented to me.
Yeah.
on
I would
things.
like more normal movies, I will say.
Yeah.
Because again, the normal movie is also the downfall of the Marvel movie, which I think we all need to hold hands on.
Yeah, I
the
agree
more
with that.
people can watch normal movies again, the less Marvel. Because I think, I don't know, because we have more not huge ass bets where like this movie made $70 million and now we're all disaster. No, like the bar is so high.
Yeah.
Like you're either here or 824.
Yeah.
And it's yeah. So I would like more of these if they're well written and actually funny, I guess is what I'll say. Is it Jennifer Lawrence? I think it's weird that, and the Jennifer Lawrence herself said it, it's like I think people were getting sick of me.
Yeah.
And I think it is weird. I mean, I just got sick of her because of Mother. That's my thinking. So, but people like that movie.
Valid.
One movie made you
So
sick of a person.
so yeah, when
forever.
people are like, you know what, I'm tired of Jennifer Lawrence. Like, I know, mother. Am I right? That was terrible. So I don't think that's why people were sick of her. I don't know why people were sick of her. Red Sparrow seemed bad also, and that was the last movie she made, pretty much. But that's bad.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was not good.
It seems cool that she's in a movie that's just like her being goofy, because I feel like she was
always most funny.
Yeah, she was. Well, she just got swept up after Hunger Games. She just got swept up into like Oscar-y type movies.
American Hustle, Joy.
Like, I feel like she hasn't had a chance to just not be miserable.
Yeah,
because all those
just, like drama.
Because all those interviews when they did like the press junkets, like she was always funny.
Yeah.
She's just a likable person is what I got out of it. I don't know what her career is after this or what she wants to do. Like, she even said, like, I don't know what this second part of my career is. I don't know. I mean, but then she also did Don't Look Up, which is not great.
Yeah.
But she made also, like, what was the thing that happened in that movie? She fucked something up her mouth
I don't
the whole time. Yeah, but I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, I think this movie is going to kill once it goes on Netflix. It is going to murder, and it's better than those movies that.
It's better than the Netflix R-rated raunchy.
Because this is trying to go for that normie crowd, and it is better than those. That's what I'll say.
Well, like the Netflix ones, and like Netflix really is the place for like normie movies, but like they spit out so many with like such little effort. It's like
Chris Hemsworth is the military man
too. Who was the director who was like Netflix movies don't count?
I don't know who that was.
All of them.
Well, I can't remember. He was like,
you tell me the Bird Box Barcelona doesn't count?
No, it does not count as a movie. Listen,
well, we'll see.
Listen, Red Notice starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't count as a movie.
That's not real.
That's not a real. No one has seen it.
I have not seen one credible source of someone who has watched that film.
Exactly. It's not a real movie.
Exist.
Or this isn't but it is adjacent as Ghosted on Apple
TV.
That's on Apple TV.
Apple TV is big. That does not exist.
Yeah, they were trying to make a Netflix like that.
That movie looked horrible.
Yeah, I heard it was. It was.
Anyways, no hard feelings. It's fine. All right. You guys won't watch No Hard Feelings, but you'll watch The Flash.
Opening night, baby. Silent high five because we're recording. There we go. So, what I love about this movie is when it was announced in 2014, the Flash Season 1 had just started. The Flash is now on Season 9, and it finally got released.
A long road.
I haven't seen any of the Flash show. I've seen clips. It looks insane. I like the clip where Gorilla Grodd breaks into young President Barack Obama's teenage dorm room. Very funny, George. Very funny.
It sounds like a CW show.
But it's just like in 9 seasons, like you would think they would like encompass like everything. Like if you're a Flash fan, like that show would have had to have done pretty much everything that character could do. So like normies don't want this. Flash fans have probably had they've had their cake. So, like, who is this for?
Us.
I guess. Because, like, it's also trying to be, like, Spider-Verse-y...
Multiverse?
Yeah.
Not Spider-Verse-y, like, No Way Homey, where, like, oh, he's back because Michael Keaton's back as Batman or whatever.
Right.
And, like, that's a fun idea, but the way it does it is weird, and also that... His character doesn't really do a lot for the movie. But, like, basically, what I do like about this movie, and I have a lot of mixed feelings on it.
When he breaks the Speed Force.
He does break the Speed Force.
A lot in this one, as I understand.
He does it a lot. I like the start of this movie. I like how this movie starts. Because, like, for one, he does a big superhero thing, and it's very funny. The babies look very ugly.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I thought it was...
It's really good.
I thought it was a fun way to show his powers, and it showed him interacting with the Justice League, and that's fine. When Wonder Woman shows up, it does do the... Which is funny, because that's the second time this has happened this year, because she did the exact same thing in Shazam 2, where she just showed up and then it went... and gave a line and left. Which is very funny, but I like the interaction with, you know, him being part of that team and all that, and then he just goes off to do, you know, go back in time, because he's like, I think I want to save my mom's life now. And he's like, okay. up until that point, I'm like, this is a pretty solid start. I like the
first 15 minutes are solid.
They're pretty good. Maybe that was the part that Phil Lord and Chris Miller wrote.
Wait, they were attached to this at one point?
They were the original screenwriters, and they were going to direct it, but then they left to do solo. Didn't work out. And then, it kind of traded hands, and then they did, like, a bunch of rewrites. Which you can tell us this went through a lot of rewrites. But I also like the part in the beginning where like he's about to speed up and like starting like the Flash logo starts going off and then it like cuts away.
Oh,
because like the fans like, oh my god, it's a Flash.
Like,
right. Oh, okay.
The group of teen girls start talking to Ezra Miller and I'm like, get out of there,
get out of there! No, don't do it! I think that was funny. But then like the idea of, going back in time and like interacting with like a younger version of yourself, that's a fun idea. It sucks when it's Ezra Miller.
Yeah, it sucks when the two characters are both Ezra Miller.
It sucks when they're Ezra Miller, but also because, like, the past version of himself that he's interacting with is, like, so annoying.
Right.
Like, because, like, Justice League of the Flash was very annoying, but this is dialed up. And it's like, and the contrast is fun, but the character's still annoying. Yeah. So when he's like, you're really annoying. Or I'm really annoying back then. Like, that's funny, but it doesn't make me like it more, because it's still annoying me. Because
present day Ezra Miller ends up being the more grounded one, and it's like, how is that possible?
No, stop that.
Because the younger version of him that he's interacting with is in the universe where his mom didn't die, so he didn't have any young trauma, so he's just an asshole.
Yeah. Well, it's like, that's a fun idea, but then they don't do anything with it.
Right.
And they also, like, joke around with stuff, because it's like, oh, Back to the Future starring, and then not the guy it's starring
Eric
with.
Stoltz.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz. That's a funny bit if they showed a poster of Eric Stoltz in front of, like, a Back to the Future thing. That would have been funny, but they just talk about it, so it's weird. And then also, like, the whole spaghetti thing, like when they find Bruce Wayne. So he goes back in time, so he's basically in 2003. So Batman is still Batman, but you'd think he'd be Ben Affleck, right? But he goes back and he's actually Michael Keaton. He's like, wait, I don't understand. How are you don't look right. It's like, oh, you probably have seen a movie where you go back in time and it goes this way. But actually, when you go back in time, you change the past too.
And Ryan forgot to mention that he's holding a plate of spaghetti.
He's holding a plate of spaghetti and using it to like gesture how
it's a
time.
Straight noodle, but then time actually is like this. And
it's a loopy noodle.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, it's a very funny idea. It doesn't work in person.
Is it?
It's a fun spaghetti. If you're in a boardroom and you're like, what if he's like doing an analogy? We're like, what's spaghetti?
What if Michael Keaton starts making spaghetti in this scene and you're like, where is this going?
Cary, we're laughing already. It's like we were in the boardroom, but then you show it, it's like, oh, this isn't very good now, is it? It's like, but there's like, oh, you went back in time, so you also changed the past too. So like, who knows what's going on? It's like, okay, at that point, fucking dinosaurs are still around and everyone's skin is green at that point. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, so he's back in time and he figures out that he's at the day when the Man of Steel stuff starts happening.
Yes.
So they're like, we gotta find the other members of the Justice League, but Aquaman doesn't exist because the dad didn't marry
Nicole Kidman,
married some
else.
random other lady. Wonder Woman isn't real. I don't remember why.
Yeah, she wasn't born. Cyborg didn't have his accident.
Yeah, he looks up Cyborg and he's just a football star and he's like, damn it.
Damn it, he got his dream to come true.
What a jackass.
So they're like, okay, we gotta find Superman. So they go to like Russia and like, it feels, I know this is how it is like the Flashpoint comic because I've read a little bit of that, but it reminded me a bit of like Superman Red Son, which is a very fun comic where it's like, the Russians have Superman and like, who is it? And like, it's Supergirl this time and she's like Superman, but she's like meaner, I guess. Which doesn't work because like the last Superman was already mean and loved killing people. So like, it just doesn't like flesh as well, But also, I feel so bad for the girl who played Supergirl.
Right.
And I've told this to Cary. So on like the press junkets for this, Michael Keaton's old as hell, so he can't do the press junket.
Right.
Ezra Miller legally can't do it. So you have this girl who like who's in like the last like third of the movie and doesn't really do that much, and also dies 1,000 times because they do it all this time and space stuff. Whose like claim of fame was Young and the Restless. I found out that she was on that show for like 5 years. Like, oh my god, I'm finally in a DC. It's amazing. So she's the only one doing press for this movie. I feel so... That's a lot of work to put on someone who's barely in the movie.
This movie that everyone hates.
Yes. Very funny. But yeah, and then, they're in the big final fight, and it's in like an empty field, and like there's Kryptonians everywhere, and Zod's there, and he has the mask on the whole time because I think they couldn't get too much of Michael Shannon to show up. And they keep losing the battle, so both of the berries keep going back in time to like, oh, maybe we can fix it again, but then they keep fucking it up.
Oh, yeah, because Michael Keaton talks about how there's like an undeniable intersection or whatever, however he phrases it.
Some things are...
A canon event?
It's a canon event,
hey,
yes.
There we go. That's not what he says, but that's pretty much what he means.
Yes. Basically, yeah. There's some things that can't avoid. I'm gonna do a suicide bomb. Very funny.
Incredible.
And then like the berries keep going back in time, and it's like it's not working. And then like the younger berry goes crazy, and he's like, "I'm actually the one who put you in the past to begin with, and I went crazy." It's like super paradoxy, and like that's a fun idea if like I cared about the characters and if like the emotional parts of everything worked better. Which I feel like would have if, the character was better, if the movie wasn't so bloated and trying to do so many things, and if it did more... If this was like The Flash 2, maybe, also, like, if we had established a lot more with this guy, regardless of who's playing him, I feel like this resolution, like, with his mom would have been more solid. Mm-hmm. But instead, they're like, let's skip to, like, the big Flash comic thing that, like, everyone loves, and shove Michael Keaton in there, too, because why not? People love that.
Right.
And like, I don't know. It's just a mess.
It's very much a mess.
It's just a mess. But I still feel like the director, oh my god. Andy Muschietti. I feel like if anyone else was directing this, it would have been like even more
Does this at all feel like a movie Zack Snyder would make?
It has bits of that. Okay. A little bit. Just cuz like it's trying to like replicate that stuff for those fans, but those fans hate this because like
yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't feel as unpleasant as every Zack Snyder
movie
I've ever watched.
It has moments, but I don't know. It's also like those Zack Snyder fans hate this movie anyway, because like they're obsessed with like anything that's not made by him, and yet none of them watched Army of the Dead. So like, what are they doing? I don't know. Whatever. But I don't know. But yeah, Andy Muschietti, I feel like he did as good a job as he could putting this together, because this is a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess, and I feel like it's at least a little coherent, and I feel like with anyone else, that would not be there. Mm-hmm. And also, like, him having fun with everything is also there, too. It feels very much like the weird parts of It Chapter 2 in places, where, like, it's just wacky.
Yeah, like all the weird all the ugly ass.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even get into that. So, like, George, when he's in, like,
when he's going through time, the way they illustrate it is it looks like he's
It's like a time dome.
It looks like a dome or like a coliseum almost of like tiered things, but like each ring is an era of time that he can go to, so you like see the scenes playing out. But the way they are animated, it literally looks like Polar Express.
Yes.
I was like, whoa.
Yes.
What happened?
Like, I'm watching it and I was like, this has to be for some reason an artistic decision. Because there's no way they looked at that and it was like, yeah. And like, I read the anime, she was like, yeah, it was. And it's like, okay.
Sure.
First off, sure. Also, I feel like you could have done that better still. Like, if you chose a different style besides like...
Besides Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, besides Robert Zemeckis. Like, it's just very... Like, you see a lot of that, you know? You see a lot of those things. And then I feel like the biggest, like... Because, like, this movie's, like, been spoiled, like, on the internet for, like, over a year, because it was done for over a year. Like, I've read spoilers on this movie. I knew Nicolas Cage was going to show up.
Oh,
which
yeah!
Is very funny.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was so stupid.
They got him in for that. He filmed for that, and then they did...
They didn't even have to ask. He was already there, probably.
Yes, but then they did that to him, which is crazy. Because at one point, and, like, this sucks, because I've seen clips of this from CW shows where, like, they're doing multiverse stuff, and, like, they're literally in, like, a weird dome room, and they're looking at, like, like little portals, and it's just showing scenes from other things. It's like, oh my god, it's the Titans universe. Oh my god, it's the 1960s Flash serial. oh, that's crazy. Like, that's how those shows are. And this movie basically does that, but with weird, gross deep fakes, where, like, he's in the time dome, and you see these big planets, and, like, all these characters, like, you know, Richard Donner, Superman, and Supergirl are looking, and they're all CGI 3D deep faked, and they're just looking at him like,
yeah, they're just like, what's going on?
You see like an Adam West Batman, like just looking like, oh, that's crazy. And then you see the weirdest one, which is a Nick Cage Superman fighting a giant spider. And then he looks back and he's like, huh? And like, that's not a cameo. That's not like, they're not interacting or showing that world at all. They're just like, look at this, look at that, crazy, right? Like, it's nothing. And I don't understand, like, all these people who, like, before the movie goes, like, these cameos are gonna blow your mind. Like, if they interacted with Nicolas Cage Superman, who would have, like, literally flown there to be, like, on the shoot the entire time.
Yeah, that would have been incredible.
He would have loved to do that.
Yeah.
Instead, they're just like, oh, how many looks at him and he's finding a big spider. Oh, that's great. Write that down. It's just so weird. There's so many strange decisions in this, and all the... just everything around this movie is just nonsense to me, and it fascinates me for that exact reason. I'm losing my mind. That's all.
Okay. I don't know how that Nicolas Cage thing. I did not hear about that until right now. I don't know how that. I guess because nobody's seen this movie. So
no one has.
You shouldn't.
Okay. And here's where George is going to ask a very stupid question.
Uh-oh.
I have not looked up what Ezra Miller has done. I just trust everybody that's done really awful shit. I was like, okay, I haven't looked it up. Is this should I is there any way you can TLDR, or should I just look it up?
So a lot of like, I think it started with that video of him choking a fan. That's how it started.
I remember, yeah, because that was like the beginning. Because I saw that and I was like, that could be a joke. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like an actor would never purposely choke a fan when he clearly knows he's being filmed. Like, there has to be some reason behind it. But, like, he literally, like, grabs a woman and, like, throws her down by the neck. And it's like, that's strange. But then we get all these weird reports of him, like, in Hawaii, like, getting into fights, like, yelling at trashing apartments and just, like, going crazy. And then he, like, abducted, like, a Native American teenager.
There was, like, a 13-year-old girl who they had, like, a special bond, and they took her from her family, and, like, I was like, that seems odd.
Well, it's a special bond, so I'm not one to really criticize.
Like a strange pattern of behavior.
Yeah. And I think there's stuff like he might have a cult. Which, like,
that I figured.
Judging by, like, his hair... Did you see him at the Flash premiere?
I did see the hair.
The hair at the Flash premiere was big. Oh, I have a cult. That's what that hairstyle says.
I just want to say rip to me, because this is another person who I used to be a huge fan of who has turned out to be just the worst.
Just...
I really know how to pick him.
I do remember that. You used to like him.
Well, and watching this, I remember because I was like, this was when I... like. Obviously, now I don't like Ezra Miller, but I really liked Ezra Miller for a long time, but then I watched the Justice League movie, and I was like, I don't think I like Ezra Miller anymore, because they were so annoying as the Flash. But then they did some other stuff where I just forgot about that. But then watching this again, I was like, oh yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
That was, like, the big, like, claim to fame for them, I think. Which, that was a very good performance. That's a very good movie, so, like, I get it, but, man, what the hell happened?
Well, this
no clue.
I wonder how well this will do when it's on HBO. On Max, sorry.
On Max.
Yeah, anyways.
People will get, like, some high-res screenshots of, like, those weird CGI screens, and they'll be like, you could fire James Gunn already.
You could get the highest res possible image of that film, and it'll look like ass.
Oh, that's fair.
Terrible.
That's fair.
Past Lives, the last movie on here.
Thank God.
Possibly the most opposite film.
Yeah.
we could possibly have.
So yeah, this is a 2/4 released film. I don't know anybody involved with it until this movie. We have the setup for this movie is that is she Korean? Are they Korean? South Korean, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this girl's parents immigrate to the United States because they never give a reason why, really. But she's
it's just like work.
Just cause, like her dad's a director. And
he's a director, and they want to.
I guess probably more opportunities for him. Probably something here. So so they leave pretty quickly also, and her and this boy have like a friendly like kid, like haha, like they're best friends. Haha, they're probably gonna get married at some point or whatever. Like the parents like that because they're always hanging out or whatever hell. And she just leaves, and he's pretty bummed out about that. And then it's like just like in the back of his head, like for like ever, just like it's a thought that's there. Like he's still going through his life and stuff. He's studying to be what was it?
Engineering?
Something, but it was something.
I think it was engineering.
Something fancy. I remember that.
Yeah.
She's a writer.
Yeah.
Plays. Yeah, and so they find each other on Facebook just because she's talking to her mom. And I was like, "You remember that kid?"
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that kid." And then you look up on Facebook, and like he's like, looking like, "Do you know what happened to this girl?" And they finally connect again, and they hang out.
Long distance just doesn't, work out for their friendship.
Because the time zone's different and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then she realizes, they both realize that, oh, I like this person a lot, actually. But she just moved to, was it New York?
New
right?
York, yeah.
She just moved to New York because she's going to chase
she's
writing.
In school.
Yeah, she's going to chase it. And she's like, she's to the point like, I need to, the thing, hanging out, talking to you, I only think about going back to South Korea to hang out with you. And I made it to New York for a reason. I gotta make it. I gotta see where this goes. Mm-hmm. Let's not talk at all. She just cuts it off, and then she goes through the whole thing. She gets married, and then they reconnect again for what was the reason? He goes through a bad breakup.
Yes, and then he's like, "Hey, I want to visit New York for no reason."
Yeah, and then stuff happens there where they reconnect, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna give you like the whole play-by-play of the movie, but. Yeah, I don't know. The movie's great, man. It's
a good piece of cinema right there.
It's really good. It's like it's the classic category of yearning and misconnection and what ifs, and I love that shit. I love that shit. And this is that movie where it's like, well, it's like again, and it's a weird line when he delivers it, like the line of the movie where now I just forgot it, but. It's essentially like, what if you didn't leave? Like, if you didn't, like, what would have happened? And it's amazing that when he delivers that line, that it doesn't seem creepy. But it's a movie about those moments in life where you can see, like, again, like something split, where it's like Michael Keaton and spaghetti, where like at one point this is what would have happened. Like you can picture like a different life.
Don't leave South Korea.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's the movie. I don't know. It's like, it's about like what would have happened, what if, and it's like, well, I'm here now in life, and you're over there in life, right. And we can't untangle this. So I guess we'll keep on going, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I like this a lot. My favorite part though was, towards the end, like he's interacting with like the husband, and it's obviously a very awkward relationship.
Also, because the husband also realizes, like, this is, like, he says, like, this is in the part
in
of the
a movie. Yeah,
I'm the bad guy.
I can't compete with this.
This is a great ass story.
Yeah.
But I loved the line where he's like, it really breaks my heart how much I love your husband.
Yeah.
That's so sweet and so nice, and I'm like, oh my god. And it just like kind of proves that like
it makes it complicated. It's not a movie, right? It's like he's a nice guy.
It's just life, and it's just like, oh, this is just.
It is what it is.
This is
I
just
have to contend with this now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, Cary, what'd you think?
Yeah, I really liked it too. It's just it's such a nice, quiet, subtle movie, but it's just so impactful when you're just thinking about. It's just such a true. It feels like truth. It feels like an honest movie. It's just awesome to just think about having to confront the fact that. Here is the path that I could have taken, and I would be just as happy on that path, maybe happier, but I'm so happy on my path, but it's just a lot to think about. It's so cool, though.
It really, I think because the husband's saying that line, like, in a movie, this is, like, because it knows, like, there are a lot of stories about misconnections and, like, what if, again, like, in the mood for love. Like, that's, like, what it is, but it's, like, much more, it's brought more to a level, like, because of the internet, that's the funny thing. Like, the internet is the key here, where, like, it just like you look up someone and you start seeing like what are they doing, and then you send them a message and you get like it's just like wherever like there was a part where your lives split, but now it connects. Like it's so relatable. Like you just it's easy to think back or just like I don't know, but yeah, this movie's great. This is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. It's really good. I think maybe because we're movie dorks, where it's like this movie's doing a lot of stuff that a lot of movies have done, and I'm sure the person who made this movie knows. But I feel like if you
watch Eternal Sunshine in the movie,
they know what they're doing. Yeah. They know what they're doing. But I feel like if you put this movie, like, I feel like if A24 really pushed for this, and if you put it in front of like just a normal person, it would have fucking destroyed their whole fucking life.
Oh yeah. And I feel like this is probably for like an A24 like very limited thing. Like I'm seeing a lot of screens for this, so like it has to be doing pretty well for what it is, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's good. That's all I gotta say. So if you enjoy those movies,
a good cry.
Check it out. Check it out. Look back on your life and ask yourself, what if? We love doing that in the middle of the night, don't we, folks? Anyways, that's all for May and June. I tell you what, for all the movies we talked about, we made pretty good time. July. Why the fuck is there another Insidious movie coming out?
I still
have not seen a trailer for this. Oh, and that's insane to me.
It looks awesome.
Great. Okay. Well, it's just crazy because like I go to the movies every week and like this is coming out in July and I haven't seen a trailer for this.
Dude, I'm so excited. Like it's so stupid how excited
we need to rewatch the first two.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not The Last Key.
I'll watch all of them. I like them. They're fun.
This seems like a sequel to like the second one.
No, yeah, this is definitely Dalton's back.
Oh. I think I remember.
It's the same guy.
Okay, cool.
He's older now.
Oh, great.
It's been a long time. It's been like
he's gonna stare into the distance, and something's gonna be. I know.
Yes.
We love that, don't we, folks?
Yeah, I really like the Insidious movies. I don't know if I even have a good reason, but they're just very...
I mean, at the time, they were very... Like, Insidious was like, whoa, this guy's doing stuff.
The first one, I think, probably is the only one that counts as a good movie. I really don't remember the second one very much.
I don't remember either. They moved somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, but the first
one,
I think...
more rocking horses.
Yes.
I remember that
That's
scene.
True. I remember that bit, yeah. But... The first one I genuinely love still, and I just love the further, and I love ghosts. We know this about me. I'm a ghost gal, and I love all the weird demon shit, and this is just Patrick Wilson's directing this one, so...
Very interesting.
I didn't know that part.
Bro, this is gonna be incredible.
But yeah, that first movie was very, like, smack you in the head. It was like, oh, shit, this guy is doing stuff. He's got some ideas. Like, this is good. This is wild.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a wild swing of a movie. Yeah, okay. I'm not committing to watching it just yet, but maybe I'll watch that trailer and we'll see. I remember not liking The Last Key. I think that's it.
It's not very good,
yeah.
but it has some parts that are really cool.
Like, it's not even, like, I forget, like, it's not even about what it is about, right? Like, they find a thing that...
It's about Lynn Shay returning to her childhood home, and there's a key man there that makes the guy who lives there evil, but it also made her dad evil.
Yes.
He has like a jail cell full of
yes,
people.
that's why. That's what I remember.
Yes. Oh yeah, wasn't it a bit like you thought they were ghosts, but they were actually
exactly.
Yeah,
people?
Yes.
And the guy who's living there now has like a woman captured.
Yes. That's what it was.
He still invites over a team.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I remember that part.
That's what I was like. It's like not. It's like there's like yeah. Anyways.
But
Joyride.
The timeline is also all fucked because we can move on.
Okay.
This is the continuing.
Joyride.
It's very Conjuring coded. The timeline just doesn't make sense.
No, okay. Joyride. We got another R movie, and so again, I like a lot of the people in this movie, and I enjoy. It is the
Stephanie Sue.
Yes, no, but it's the writer producer of Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
I like Crazy Rich Asians a lot. This trailer, I'm having a hard time not like. It looks fun. I'll watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Donna Joe saw that trailer. She's like, "Fuck yeah, normal."
I'm ready for a normal movie. This is gonna be my normal movie.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
It's normal summer. Here we go,
normal
baby.
Summer.
So yeah. It's a bunch of Chinese American ladies who are like they got to go to China, right?
I think.
Yeah, they're looking for the birth mom, right?
Yeah.
And so they go on a crazy road trip, and then stuff happens. Wacky stuff happens.
They get tied up with drugs.
Cocaine, a mule. Yeah, stuff. Anyways, you're watching it. You don't have anything to say.
I don't have anything to say. Like, it looks fine. That's all I gotta say.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Part 1, a big thing.
I guess.
I'm
excited to be part 1.
I told myself I was gonna watch all the Mission Impossibles in the lead up to this. There's a lot of fucking Mission
how's
Impossible.
that working out for you?
I saw 2 and I was like, this was dog shit, and I haven't seen the other one, which I know everyone says 2 is awful. It's fucking bad. It's not good.
I want to do that too. I want to watch them.
First one,
I don't know.
that is a movie. The first one, like, man, this is a fucking movie.
The first one, like, I don't know. Like, I remember seeing the trailers for it as a kid, and it looked like a certain kind of movie. And then you look at, like, the recent Mission Impossible, and it's like, this doesn't feel like the same thing. This feels very different.
And I assume they still do the
Fast
face
and
thing.
Furious, like, it's still cars. Like, it's grounded in cars.
Yeah.
But even though, I don't know.
The first Mission Impossible is great because it's such a movie. It feels like ridiculous. Because the whole bit is like the fucking mask thing, where it's just like, and then he just do it every time. It's like, what? Anyways, but I think I'm going to just watch Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 without knowing anything. I think.
If you go to the album, they'll probably show up. Last time on Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I did that with I've only seen the other most recent.
The one with Henry Cavill?
That's the only one I've seen. So I went into that one blind, and I really liked that movie. So.
And also, I really liked Top Gun. So yeah. Theater camp, guys. This trailer, I'm sick of it.
Really?
I like this trailer.
I mean, I'm sure the movie's, but they're just
trailer.
showing it so many times. I'm like, God.
And you're like, I don't care, Evan Hansen, get out of my fucking face.
I like this trailer.
Like, I'm sure the movie's fine.
It feels very like low budget, and I'm like, yes, they just got a bunch of kids in the woods and they just filmed a movie.
This is the kind of normal movie.
Yeah.
Cary wants. Just theater weirdos.
Yes. I don't know.
And Ben Platt. Yeah. I'm excited to see him in something that's not Dear Evan Hansen.
I'm excited to play someone who's an adult.
Yeah, that.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I think this looks like just a bunch of fun, goofy theater kids.
Yeah,
and they just seem wacky and silly.
It has what's her face? Who I like? Is it Ayo something? She's from The Bear, the television show The Bear.
Oh.
And she's also in Bottoms.
Yeah, she's also in Bottoms. I know.
Yeah.
I can never remember her last name.
But yeah,
She's
like,
funny.
I like her. So yeah, I'll probably watch it. I was just tired of the trailer. Anyways, Bird Box Barcelona? Question mark?
I didn't look up anything beyond seeing this title.
Yeah, that's about as much
I was
as
like,
I know
what
about
the
it,
shit?
too.
Excuse
We're gonna
me.
do some research right now, folks.
It feels like Train to Busan, Peninsula.
Oh,
like that kind of thing, where it's like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I never
Bird
saw that.
Box presents Barcelona? Is there anyone from the original one in this? The original one also sucks.
It's not great.
I never saw it.
I think the only reason people saw it was it had Sandra Bullock.
It was a big Netflix, yeah.
And people were like, I like horror movies where one of your senses is impaired.
Yeah.
That's true. That's also true, yes. Yeah, I don't see.
If you look at the thing, you kill yourself in a funny way. That's how it is, though.
Oh yeah, I do remember that
Yeah.
Sarah Paulson scene.
It's
that
very
went viral.
weird.
I'm trying to find the director.
I hate how this is a thing. Bird Box.
Alex
Barcelona.
Pastor and David Pastor.
Bird Box, the
written
next
by
chapter.
Alex
Oh,
Pastor.
no. Bird Box, the Red Door. No!
Bird Box Barcelona, Part 1.
No! Part 2 next week. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, when are we gonna start doing that again? Where we have
Oh.
a new movie in a trilogy every week, huh?
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Well, yeah, that's a movie that's coming out. Anyways, Oppenheimer. I don't give a shit about this guy who made the nuclear bomb. Why do we care about this guy?
Because he's killing
IMAX.
Well, that's that too.
The biggest screen possible.
Are we gonna
That's
go to
the one.
Council Bluffs to watch this movie?
Me and Carrie were talking
I
about
Oh,
think
are
we
you?
should.
Okay, then
Yeah,
if
I
we
think
go,
it
then
would be
I'll.
fun.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't been there in a. think the last thing I saw was Godzilla, and that wasn't shot for IMAX, so it looked lame.
Yeah, it looked weird. But yeah, I'm all for seeing this in IMAX just to commit to the bit.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
But I do think we need to see the next movie on our list first to fully commit to the bit.
Barbie.
Barbie, baby.
Greta Gerwig's Barbie. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have nothing to say.
It looks pretty good.
Looks great.
It looks good. I like Noam Baumbach, and I like Greta Gerwig, and I like Margot Robbie, and I like everybody. I like everything going on here. So,
do you like Barbies? Are you a Barbie fan?
No, but I'm told this is a movie for me if I don't like Barbie.
Yeah, it's for.
I feel indifferent about Barbie. Speaking about Barbie, we're watching a bunch of 2008 trailers while we're recording. She's on the screen right now.
This is destiny.
Yeah, there she is. Here's a question. Do you think the movie Barbie is at all going to affect the youth's enjoyment of Barbie? I feel like this is a movie made for 20 and 30-year-olds, not to sell Barbies, which is interesting.
I've seen people being like, oh, this is just a glorified toy commercial. And it's like,
I don't think it is. And I think
that vibe. I feel like this is going to, like...
I think Hasbro's just happy that to get the name out there, but I don't think they expect it. Maybe by osmosis eventually, but this movie's not a direct correlation.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited.
But I'm excited. Yeah,
I don't know where Barbie's at right now with the
kids.
Ask the children.
Yeah.
What do you think about Barbie?
Yeah, I think my niece is aged out of
Barbie has gone woke, and I do not care for her anymore. Anyways.
Barbie can be anything except the president.
Or except fat.
Oh.
Talk to me. 824 is Talk to Me. They're putting a lot of marketing juice on this movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of marketing juice, and
they do this a lot with like horror movies where the director's done nothing else. And it's like you'll never experience this. It's like, okay.
Like it looks like I'll watch it because I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
for
okay.
This movie. I don't know. I think it looks. Cool.
It seems like a basic idea, but I think they're gonna do something more with it because it's like
you would assume
touch the hand and talk to a dead person. It's like okay, I've been there before. I think that it's a hand is already interesting. Of like, what was this fun game? Hasbro presents the talking hand. It's like, oh, that's
it's
horrifying.
Like a Ouija board, but it's just a hand.
Oh, okay.
My friend Chris was telling me he was like, "This is a fucking Cary ass movie. You love horror movies that are about like." A thing or a guy who has to come in and you gotta figure out what's going on. And I'm like, absolutely I do.
Right. What if a hand was evil? Yes!
What if you touched a hand and became a demon?
Yes!
Please.
Finally, someone with this bold idea.
So yeah, I'll watch it.
And we're seeing this early, baby.
We are. That'll be fun.
That's soon.
Sympathy for the Devil is a movie I'm learning is a Nicolas Cage movie. I never heard of it until right now.
It looks awesome.
Who's this has Joel
fucking guy from Suicide Squad.
Kinnaman?
Joel Edgerton would be amazing.
Okay, I thought it was Joel Edgerton.
His name. Well, Joel Edgerton might be in it, but basically, from what I've gathered from watching the trailer a couple times, is that fucking. What's his name in Suicide Squad? Is it Rick Flag?
Rick
Flag is driving his car trying to get to his wife, who is currently giving birth. But then crazy ass Dead by Daylight looking Nicolas Cage hijacks his car and is like, "I'm in charge now. I'm your pregnant wife now." It just looks absolutely bananas. But Nicolas Cage bananas movies are getting a little boost right now just because he's very big right now.
Yeah.
People are like, he's pretty great actually. So now even his wacky shit is getting like, well, we gotta go see this. But I think it looks hilarious.
Okay. Is this actually getting a theatrical release?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there.
Great. This is not... Okay. This is related in the fact that this reminded me of Willy's Wonderland, but it's not a movie coming out anytime soon. That Five Nights at Freddy's trailer, huh?
That looks
bad.
Awful. That looks
like no budget bullshit. Like Willy's Wonderland looks way better.
Yes. What I don't like about that trailer, I'm sorry, but now we're talking about it. The animatronics look the exact same as the video game.
Yeah.
And that's not a good move. That's a horrible move. Because now they don't look real.
No.
And you have fucking PETA being like, what's going on?
I gotta bake some bread right now.
My favorite thing, though, is like, I remember those games first started coming out, and like I was interested.
Yeah,
in,
me
like,
too. I was like, it's like Night Trap. Weird.
Yeah, it was fun, but then like they kind of like gained, but then like when I dropped off, they gained this like insane popularity.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I remember when I watched the trailer, I like scrolled down the comments and it was, "We did it, you guys! We got it made." It's like, we didn't do it. What are you saying? Like everyone was like congratulating themselves for like week 5 put it together. Or it's like, okay,
Video games are mainstream.
video games, I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't understand this fanboys. I don't understand why these toys are loved by children when they're all about killing kids.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I just remember, like, I played the first game and I was like, oh, that's cool, that's fun.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really think about it again, but then I remember somehow I tuned back in and there's all this lore now. And there's all this shit, and I'm like, what the fuck
It's
happened
like fucking
here?
Dark Souls, like
Oh yeah.
like you got people who are like trying to understand the lore, like what does this mean, and the fucking like this
I
means
feel like
like
it's
interpreters of the text.
I feel like at this point there's different,
From the
probably like
Book of
different,
Saw.
Yeah.
like different timelines, different spaghetti strands where it's like, okay, they went back and did that, and the ghosts, and it's like, why can't they just be about killing stuff?
No.
And they sell a lot of copies still.
I know.
Those games are
I know.
very popular.
It's crazy to me.
A lot of Peacock subscriptions from this one, so
And it's gonna be on Peacock Day 1, which is very funny.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Which I feel like is probably a good thing for like the 7-year-olds who love
Oh,
Five Nights at
yeah,
Freddy's,
yeah,
because
yeah.
they're not gonna be able to.
no.
But they're like,
Because it's weird. It's a
"But
scare.
Mom, it's on Peacock." And it's like, well,
Sure.
for some reason we at this household has Peacock, so of course,
Sure,
son.
you're already on Roblox. You're just
Yeah.
fucking.
Your generation was born on the internet. You're fucked regardless
There's a trailer
of what
for
you
Repo,
watch.
the genetic opera, on right
Oh,
now.
Hell
Which
yeah.
is I was like, I don't know what Cary thinks
I
of Repo. I
love
was like,
that.
of course Cary likes Repo, the genetic opera.
That movie's awesome.
It's good. No, it's good. I like it. I like it.
I've not seen that movie.
It's like the one other Twisted Pictures movie, because
Right.
I just
other than
remember-
Dead Silence.
I just remember for
Yeah,
this
that's a great
one,
movie,
like
too.
when Netflix first started streaming, this was like one of the like
Yes.
always the top like
Yes,
streaming movies.
this was always one
and
of the
I
top
was always
ones.
like, I'm about to watch it. I'm 15. I'm about to watch it. I never did.
That was
I don't
always
know.
on there.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how this would play to Orion.
I don't know.
I think it's awesome.
I remember liking it. That's all I
It's
remember.
great. It's got
Oh.
Paris Hilton in it.
It does have Paris Hilton in it.
She's really good in this movie.
Haunted Mansion, not to be confused with the Eddie Murphy.
This movie is going to make exactly $0.
Wow, put it in the books.
I am sold on this because like you see it and you see all the people. You look, Keith Stanfield, Danny DeVito, other ones, and it's like that's
Jared
awesome.
Leto.
Jared Leto, and it's like
Ooh.
Owen Wilson.
okay,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
and it's like Jesus Christ, no one's gonna see this because it's another Disney based on a ride thing that no.
But the Jungle Cruise, people like the Jungle Cruise, didn't they?
No.
I thought people liked the Jungle
My
Cruise.
mom really likes Jungle
Okay,
Cruise.
this podcast isn't for your mom, Cary. It's for the everyman.
Okay, excuse me. Mom, stop listening.
Now.
I thought people liked the Jungle Cruise.
I don't
didn't
know.
see it. I don't know. I feel like I forgot that it.
Because that was another like Disney premium.
Oh yes, this
access
was a
thing.
bomb movie. Yes,
Yes.
this did not do well. Okay, well.
Because I feel like this is a thing where like it'll pick up on when it's free on streaming,
Right.
but like no one's gonna go to the theater and be like, oh,
Do you think Disney's just fucked their whole thing?
yes,
Like, it's not just
100%.
Pixar, it's just all
Because-
Disney shit?
because they're committed to like putting stuff on Disney Plus quickly, and all their stuff is for kids. And like we talked about,
So
like
it all falls in the bucket.
taking kids to the movies is so expensive now. Just get them, just show them Frozen 2 and be like, oh, just wait a month and then the other movie will be there. And like you'll save $1,000. Because like just living a normal life by yourself is so expensive. Imagine having a fucking kid you gotta feed and
They
entertain.
can't, they love this
You
juice.
can't
They
do
can't get
it.
enough of this stuff.
You can't
folks.
do it.
Uh,
So it's like the only people this is for is like Disney adults who are, you know, got lobotomized early
What
on.
is
It's like,
it-
oh, I love Disney. It's the whole world.
I love a Goofy movie, I'll tell you what.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that is a good
That movie would bomb in theaters nowadays.
It bombed when it came out!
Exactly. Nothing's changed.
So,
Disney can't make a good movie anymore.
so what I was going to ask is like, what movie would Disney have to put out to make it a financial success? Like,
It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
They need to... Because I think they would need to make something... They can't keep doing this like, oh, remember this? But like every
the
time
Mickey Mouse cartoon's great. I love that cartoon.
If
The
they
new one.
made a feature film 2D animated Mickey Mouse thing, that would be great because they would have like a
Lean
fun
into the
style.
Spider-Verse stuff,
Yeah,
do something
do a
different.
fun.
So, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great, and that definitely would make money if they did something interesting with it. But with all these remakes, it's like, oh, it's that, but live action.
Say out loud, it's not coming to Disney Plus for maybe 6 months or something, a year.
I feel like people would still wait.
Yeah.
Because like,
or just say it's not.
Because like what the
Do they have to be like, this is not gonna come? Do they have to put their foot down at some point to just like get people to go to the movie theater again?
I don't know what they do. I feel like they.
It is interesting. They've really fucked themselves.
I feel like they need an event film like an Avatar. But
yeah, Avatar worked.
Avatar worked, but now like event films like Marvel stuff isn't hitting as hot.
No.
Unless it's like, I feel Guardians did pretty well, but Ant-Man didn't do as hot.
Guardians did well because it was a good movie with word of mouth.
Yes, exactly. They need to make a good original movie, which is somehow impossible
for them, yeah.
for these guys right now.
Live action Brave Little Toaster. I don't know.
That'd be fine. Just re-release Brave Little Toaster. Like, it's a new movie.
That's what they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't work for the Walt Disney Corporation, so it's not my problem to figure out.
They have all these other studios. I feel like they're gonna live off like the 20th century stuff. Like
I think so.
Because it just feels like all the Disney. Because
Avatar worked because it's not. People don't think of it as a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So people,
But I don't know. I feel like they're fucked, and part of that is because they've had the most like lukewarm films for the last 10 years. They're remaking Moana with The Rock.
I think I put money to God. I think if they put Turning Red was not on Disney Plus day one, was that Disney day one?
No, it was in theaters for a while.
I guess never mind then.
I think.
But that was the last like one. I was like, oh, this is a fucking Disney movie for me personally. I was like, this is different. This is cool. And I don't know if I guess nobody cares, but whatever.
Because even Pixar now, Elemental.
Oh yeah, they fucked up.
Who cares?
To be fair, Elemental was like the most milquetoast idea of a movie. First draft, I think. I don't know.
What if elements were people and like
it's just another? What if we take an obtuse concept
and
make it fall in love with each other?
Yeah. All right.
I don't,
make a movie about just a guy. Who cares? Just a dude.
What if he was a guy who was a jazz man and he came back as a cat?
That'd be fine if he was just a jazz man.
Make Paperman into an hour-and-a-half movie. Remember Paperman?
I remember that. I remember reading them be like, "Yeah, we just couldn't think of an idea to have like a fun art style for a whole movie," and it's like, then come up with more ideas. Ask a second person.
Try again.
I don't know. If you guys have like the name and the resources to make like insane stuff, and yet you settle for mediocrity.
Here's what I'll say. I think Ruby Gillman is gonna make more money than Elemental. That's my bet right now.
Probably.
I think that looks way more interesting than Elemental. That's just me.
I'd rather watch that than Elemental, but I'm not too interested in it.
I'm not dying either. I'm just saying. But anyways, well, that's
Ruby Gillman feels like they're both like a classic ass story.
It's like about a weird. People like. I think Elemental's just generic character.
They're both like kind of generic things, but like But
Ruby Gillman is like it's a weird girl character. Like she's a weirdo. Yeah. She's a loser. I don't know.
She sucks. I hate her. God, what's she about?
We love weird.
But we're all losers. I don't know. That's why people like Turning Red. Because she's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Turning Red a lot.
Turning Red's good. Anyways, folks, I don't know. So, again, not my problem, Disney. Make any Winnie the Pooh. Oh, no, people don't like Winnie the Pooh, apparently. I love Winnie the Pooh. But none of those movies make money. Anyways, that's it. We didn't even talk about the Haunted Mansion. He's talking about Disney. Anyways.
I think we've summed up everything we want to say about the Haunted Mansion by talking about Disney's output of films the last 10 years.
Anyways, that's what's coming out in July, folks. Oppenheimer or Barbie, we'll see who's the winner, you know?
We'll see.
Oh. That's it. Ryan, where can people find you?
If you go to letterboxd.com/filmpiece, that is me. There's not a limit on stuff on reviews you can look at on that website. So it's great. You can just scroll through all of my reviews, read them all, like them all, comment fuck you to all of them.
What do you think about a Goofy movie?
A Goofy movie? I don't know if I've seen it. Genuinely. Because I was not a Disney kid. And
That's
Goofy
true.
is, like part of the big...
I saw an Extreme Goofy movie before I saw a Goofy movie, which was weird.
I don't know if I've seen Extremely Goofy movie.
Probably doesn't hold up now. At the time it was
Is that a sequel or like
it was a sequel.
Or a director's cut?
No, it was a direct sequel.
This is an extremely goofy movie. Because that's what they would do.
You
back
thought
in the day.
that was an unusual movie. This one's really something else. No, it's extreme because it's about the X Games, which this is how you know it came out in the early 2000s.
Oh, that makes sense. That adds up.
It was good. Anyways, Cary, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Letterboxd just by searching my first name, Cary, Karrie.
Man, remember Bolt?
No.
Bolt, baby.
Miley Cyrus.
Anyways, you can buy. I'm George. I forgot. I completely forgot. This guy reminds me of someone I know who. Anyways, I'm George. You can find me. Not updating my best of 23 list, which I need to update that. At JCruzAlvarez26 and on Twitter. I think I'm done.
Question mark? Yeah,
I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know. The worst part is honestly our group chat being gone.
Now we gotta
so
text.
Used to getting that on. I can't react to messages with the little fire thing when we're texting each other.
So,
Bullshit. Elon, this is the last straw.
bullseye emoji.
I have to do a little extra work to share weird articles with you guys.
Garbage.
That's the other thing that doesn't work anymore now on Slack. If you share an article, it no longer does a preview thing.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, it's working right now, but I'm annoyed enough that I'm like, I don't want to use this anymore.
That's why he's a genius. You gotta spend money to lose money.
Right.
That is true.
Literally.
Have y'all checked out Tumblr recently? It's not great.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that.
I went on
It's like everything else. The ads suck.
after the Twitter stuff started. I was like, let me try out Tumblr again, and now it's just like, I don't know. I feel it's like you're jumping. It's like you've never watched a Marvel movie past Iron Man 3. You're jumping into Quantum Mania. It's like, I don't know what happened here, but stuff is weird.
Oh.
I miss when
And
it was
I
the
feel
weird
out of
mobile
it.
ads.
I could not even find the app because it looked the icons.
Yeah,
so
they
different
they
now. I was
update it
like,
every
I
time
was
now.
like,
That's their
did I
bit.
delete it? But it's here.
They update it every time. That's their bit. They're a little different, you
A little
know.
different.
They like to
I
put
like
a
that
bag of
I
peas
like-
on their head and go, ooh.
I like the committing to like being the weird one, but I don't know.
It's a little too much.
Maybe I don't know.
This is taking me back in a bad way. I scrolled and I got 4 Monopoly ads. Alright.
Anyways, we're ending this on a high note with this trailer. That's our episode for May and June, our mega episode, our double stuffed episode. Not most stuffed, just double stuffed. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye-bye.